Austin here with Tactical Approach Outdoors. Today let's talk about that South Dakota hunt that we had. It ended up being successful, but it wasn't necessarily an optimal out-of-state hunt, and it was a difficult one. So going up there, we were pretty limited on our days available to make that hunt happen. So we just had to go and get it done. When we went up there, the weather was on the warm side. We had no cold fronts. We couldn't go as long as we necessarily wanted to. Definitely not how long we were planning on going to, that's for sure. But you know what? You gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta go make it happen and see if you can still get one on the ground. So we went up there. We feel comfortable with this property. We've hunted it for a long time. We know it really well. But what we did not know was going into this was that the area had been getting hit with EHD really hard that year. And as we got to talking to the locals more while we were there, it started to fill in some blanks as to why we weren't seeing the deer sign. So the areas that every single year we would have deer sign in, it wasn't there. So we were kind of really confused about what to do from there. So we went ahead, we jumped on Onyx, and we just started looking. And we were like, well, let's just go put boots on the ground, see if we can find the deer. So we gave it at least, a day and a half, I think, maybe in our spots, or a day at least. And we just weren't seeing anything. And it's like, let's make a move, let's see if we can go find the deer. So we just started putting boots on the ground, see if we could find the deer. And one of the biggest things that we did not do for this hunt that we do for every other hunt that we have was that we did not do our spring scouting. Even on our out-of-state hunts, we don't just go hunt and scout while we're there. We prepare for each hunt. So it works for us every single time. And see, I'm going to make some more videos about this coming up, because our philosophy is that we kill our deer from February to April. Those are the months that we nail down exactly where we need to be, and we plan and foreshadow next fall's movement is in those months. That is when we kill our deer. And then all we have to do in the fall is be extremely precise with where we go and figure out where the fresh sign is from there, where the fresh movement is. Because there's spots that are going to be cold that we found sign in our spring scouting. They might be cold, but this spot over here is going to be hot. And the only way we knew about those spots to go from here to here just directly was because we knew about them initially from our spring scouting. So we didn't go into this hunt as prepared as what we're hoping for and as we usually do with our hunts. So on top of that, we were dealing with the EHD and warm temperatures, and it was just a hard hunt. And I mean, those happens. That's okay. But we got on some deer. We found some fresh movement. Actually ran into a buck and a doe bedded in a cedar thicket while we were doing our scouting. And he had no clue. She knew something was up, but she wasn't 100% sure still. And he was completely clueless as to what was going on. So we found a tree. That way Dakota could go in and get set up. I backed out a little bit, found another place kind of on the backside of that cedar thicket. That next morning, Dakota was covered in deer. I mean, he was slammed with deer movement, hot does, big time. And for me, I was seeing a little bit of movement. I had some young bucks kind of cruising, maybe one doe, but that was about it. I was pretty bare in my movement. So I moved over to a spot that was just across the ridge from Dakota, where we were probably honestly only about 150 yards away from each other. He was on the better trail for sure, right up against the thicket, but he was seeing a lot of movement over on this side of the ridge where I went ahead and moved to also. And we felt really good about where we were set up, and we're getting down to the wire with our hunt. I mean, day 3 is when we made that move, when I made that move over to that ridge, so we were just double teaming this ridge. Right, you know what, if we can put one deer down, fill one tag, we're perfect. That's exactly what we wanted to do. Our expectations were a lot lower because of the EHD and the lack of sign we were seeing, so we're like, you know what, let's make this just, we always have fun with what we do, but let's just get down, keep it to the basics, and let's just have a good time with this hunt. If we fill a tag, we fill a tag. By that point, I had already filled two of my tags, so I was really happy with my season, and pressure was off. Dakota was really excited about getting into this tree and getting on some hot sign, and he ended up filling a tag on a really nice 8-point, and which was his first self-filmed deer. And as if you all have done any kind of self-filming, you know that it is not easy. I mean, your first self-filmed harvest is just about as exciting as your very first harvest as a deer hunter. And I mean, there's so much that goes into self-filming. So he was super pumped. He got himself an awesome deer, and we had a successful trip. So we had a super difficult week, and we ended up coming out of it there with a filled tag. I moved over to that hot trail after we got him out of the woods, and I gave it that evening, and that next morning is all we had left, and just to see if I could maybe fill a tag, and I didn't have an opportunity to make that happen. So, and that's okay, but we still left that hunt with warm weather, EHD herd that was, I mean, just extremely thin herd, and just difficult, totally new part of the property that we've never hunted before. We've never even looked at this property, this part of this property before, so we were excited about getting into it and making it happen. So that just shows you that even with situations that aren't optimal for our deer hunting, you just can't, you have to keep an open mind and keep working, keep moving, find the movement, because the deer are still there. You just got to go get them. You just got to go find them. So we put the boots on the ground, we found them, we set up immediately, and Dakota ended up filling a tag on an awesome deer. So that was a lot of fun. Great trip. Another successful trip in South Dakota. We love it up there. It's definitely one of our best spots. So thanks for watching, guys. Here's a shot to you. Good luck. Happy hunting. Kill you a big one. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. The next video I've got coming up, I'm actually going to talk about our early season hunt, the Kentucky hunt that we've never hunted that early, so that was a lot of fun to get into and hunt. So I'm going to tell you exactly kind of what we learned, what we saw, and how that hunt went. So stay tuned, and I'll see you on the next video.